Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We are still in downtown Bakersfield. This is I Love You, Say It Back. I'm your host, Vic D, in a new setting, and that is our producer Eric. Absolutely, the
Nice to see you
fireman.
guys again.
Calling Lil Wayne, because I'm a fireman. Fireman. Unbelievable.
I'm only back for the bonus rounds.
We are back doing another little bonus episode. NFL playoffs. We'll likely do this if we can, if we're able to, if our schedules allow it. Probably the rest of the playoffs. So we already knocked out the first round, super wild card. Now the divisional round. 4 games this weekend. Lots to talk about. Lots to get to. This again. If you weren't with us for the last one, it's quicker episode, more just, we're talking football. We're making our picks.
Straight to the point.
So let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to start, though, with the fact that, Vic, why aren't you wearing your Steelers stuff? I'm in a great mood. I'm in an absolutely great mood. And you may be sitting here wondering, like, why are you in a great mood? You're still, because I can't be hurt anymore. Eric, I'm talking to you. I'm talking. I don't know if I should put in address the camera or address you, but I want to talk to you. I want this to be like a conversation.
I would jump back and forth.
And I think that if you're watching on YouTube or that was what I just did was stupid. But no, I'm wearing my Stanford stuff. Stanford, I will say in a funny way, like Stanford has never disappointed me. And you'd be like, Vic, Stanford sucks. I know, but my expectations are never going to be like, oh, they're going to lose the national. No, I'm always happy. They get their 5-6 wins, maybe have a comeback historical win against Colorado like this year. I'm a happy camper. They've never hurt me. Shout out Stanford. Steelers made me cry last weekend. Stanford never will. Unless we get Jim Harbaugh back. That would be incredible.
That'd be nice.
So go Nerds, go Stanford. I love you. I still love the Steelers, but I feel good I find comfort in knowing that, like, I can't be hurt anymore. Like when you get over an ex, you're like, you spend all those years and all this time crying, and you're like, I'm hurt because your expectation. You're like, maybe they have something. Maybe there's still something there. Steelers are eliminated.
It's gone. No
more pain. You, on the other hand, in a very different situation. I'm glad I am where like how the haters talk.
Yeah.
You're like, I wouldn't even want to still be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Who wants to be in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's lame. You can be hurt. No, but jokes aside, first of all, congratulations on your team advancing. Green Bay Packers put up one hell of a show against the Dallas Cowboys, who Dak Prescott really just kind of peed his pants.
Who are averaging 36 points a game.
Yeah, until the playoffs come. Yeah. And the guy's like, oh my God, turn down the lights. Too bright in here. Insert that Donald Trump. He's like, oh, the lights are too bright. Turn it off. Turn it off. That was Dak Prescott. He got the yips. He couldn't complete passes. And the ones he did complete were pick sixes to the Packers. So, again, congratulations. You advance. Talk to me about how you're feeling with this team, their performance, your quarterback play, the dominance. Because that game was not the final score looked a lot closer than it was. It was like 46-16 at one point. They just scored a bunch of garbage.
You made a good point. You could touch on this after I speak on it. You said because we go back for like, oh bro, you're biased and blah blah blah. But I'm just giving some true arguments and stats and statistics as a fan of football and as well as a fan of the Packers. But one I'll say, Jordan Love putting Bakersfield on the map. It's kind of cool. It's kind of this thing we don't give a lot of attention to, but he's from our city. You said I think the Packers are just peaking at the right time, and this is the last time we win a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We weren't having a great season.
You didn't have to mention that. You could have just said the last time we won a Super Bowl.
We started peaking during the playoffs,
right?
And going into the playoff rounds.
Yeah, you guys snuck in as a 6th seed.
It's back then as well. Yeah. So it's really cool to see. We were firing on all cylinders that game. We had interceptions, pick sixes, sacks. Jordan Love was running. He was throwing dimes and into tight spaces like you would see Aaron Rodgers do back in the day. So, man, dude, and I feel confident going into the second round of playoffs against the Niners. I know they're a really good team right now, but I think the Dallas Cowboys were also a pretty good team going into Week 1. So, any given Sunday, I know we talked about that mentality. Playoffs is just a different animal sometimes, and I think we're in a good position. Like you said, we're playing with house money. The pressure's not on us. The Niners have to actually be like, we're coming to play because we're expected to win this game.
Save that because we are going to talk about
we'll
the
talk
picks.
about it.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I think I think you're making a great point there. Although I don't agree with a lot of things, I think you're making an amazing point in that. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into these picks is it not only was it crazy that you picked the Packers, not only was it crazy that they won, not only was it crazy that they dominated in the fashion that they did, you have had a crazy week as far as your picks. You went 6 for 6. And I know it sounds like, oh, he just picked like that. That sounds so easy, and it's not that. It's so... Trust me, as a degenerate gambler, I'm telling you right now, that is damn near impossible to go 6 for 6. This round, technically, there's 4 games. So statistically speaking, you're more likely to pick 4 games correct than 6. So what you did last week, nothing short of incredible. That was hard. 3 underdogs, 3 favorites. You nailed them. And they were big underdogs. They were slight favorites. You went 6 for 6. And I just want everybody to understand, if you're listening at home, if you don't understand picks, there are people who gamble, who do parlays, who literally go entire lives never hitting 6 legs in a row. And you did that last week. I just want to give you your props for that because that's insane. Oh,
Thank
just
you.
to give
Thank
you a
you.
little idea on that, a $100 bet, and we're saying $100 just because it's a nice round number. $100 bet would have paid out over $5,000.
Yeah, I'm burnt on that. Because it would have had to come from you, like I told you. If you're like, hey, bro, let's do our picks on the podcast, and let's just put a friendly $25-$50. I would 100% do it, bro. Here's the money. Let's do it.
Who says we can't do that this week?
I think we should do this week.
And then I'll send you your ticket, and then you could post it and be like, this is the ticket going
because a lot of people are like, oh, he posted that podcast clip after the playoff weekend, and they're like, he picked after. We put the podcast up before the playoffs started.
Yeah.
So that kills that. If you guys want to go check it out, I'll let you say it back. It's the first bonus
Check the
episode.
dates.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited, bro. Let's get into these picks, no?
Congrats. Let's see if you can stay hot because I'm not going to lie. I was looking at that slate. I was watching that video, and 6 for 6 kind of turned me on. Let's get into we'll start, again, in the order in which we're going to be watching them. So we'll start Texans at Ravens. This is in the divisional round now. So Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's coming in at a -9 favorite. Who do you got there?
I'm gonna. People are gonna start thinking I'm wild, but this was one of the ones I was. I'm torn on. I think the Texans come in and pull off an upset.
Really?
Yeah. Bro. This Stroud dude is just having an amazing year, and the defense did not play bad football last week either. So if they could come in with that momentum, I think they have a crazy mentality shift because the Texans don't come from this franchise of winning football, you know? So I think they have this something special going on right now.
They absolutely do. And it's one of those things that we could be sitting here in like 2 years, and let's say something crazy happened with CJ. So let's say he won, you know? Like what we don't know right now could be something that like in 3 years is like common out. Like that's the best, maybe behind Mahomes, like the best quarterback. We just didn't know it now because he's a rookie. And it's tough to people to, if you haven't seen it, to believe it. Kind of like the Jordan Love and the Packers thing.
Yeah.
Like
I think Stroud's like the second coming of a Mahomes type of star. I won't say he's a Mahomes quarterback because they're two different players, but he's on a run, man. Like he's just doing amazing. So props to him.
So you going Texans money line?
I'm going Texans and money line. Yeah.
I'm gonna assume I didn't look at the number, but that's got to be paying around 4 times.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we'll get some numbers on a parlay in a sec. But so you're taking the Texans. As much as I agree, I see a path for the Texans to win. I just don't see it against the Ravens. Lamar Jackson playing some of his best football. There's a chance that Mark Andrews, I believe he came off of his injury designation, so they're only getting healthier.
He's good. Mark Andrews is good.
I think if Dalvin Cook plays, I know they signed him. I don't know if it's just practice squad or whatever. I think he could become. He's fresh. Think about that. They didn't use him in the Jets. He could become a factor. Lamar Jackson playing great. The defense is always going to show up in Baltimore. They're not inside the dome. I'm going to take the Ravens. It's going to be uglier, colder weather. I'm going to take the Ravens in that one. Now, against the spread, I don't know. I think it's going to be one of two things.
Yeah.
Ravens blow them out. Yeah. Not blow them out, but they're going to cover the spread. They could win by like 16 points, maybe 21 points, something like that. Or Texans could pull off the upset. I don't know if I see it really coming down to like, last-minute field goal or anything like that. Yeah. Let's move on to the
real quick. I will say that I think if the Ravens win, it kind of resembles a blowout game like last weekend where the Ravens come out strong and it's like, oh man, this game got away from them, and it's a padded score at the end because they were just kind of easing off. They knew they had it. And
you'll hear me say this again if the Ravens happen to advance, but one of the crazy things about Lamar Jackson is that within our division, he struggles. Within the four teams, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, they are able to contain him, and he doesn't have as much success because we see him twice a year. Other teams, although the Texans are in the AFC, they don't see him. So they're like, damn, we never deal with this kind of speed. That's why he dominates against the NFC. These are teams that he plays once every 2-3 years. So they don't know how to handle that, and he just dominates. So give me the Ravens. You'll take the Texans. Next game, Packers at 49ers. That's going to be on Saturday night. Obviously in San Francisco, Santa Clara, wherever you want to call it. Packers coming in as a 9.5 point favorite. Talk to me.
Do you want to go first or me go first?
You go first.
Okay. Well, let me start with this.
Jesus, I know it's
because I know you guys just see It's All a Blur tour sweater, but this is definitely not the vibe if we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. Let me
let him have it. Let him have it.
Hold on, baby.
This is, you got a new jacket this time.
This is my starter. This is my starter. I wish I could just get this thing.
Yeah, you can hear. Big fan of that jacket. The starter jackets, the throwbacks, absolutely beautiful. You got to get you a starter hat too. Must be nice to still have your team in it.
We go hard with your green card. Oh, man. Okay. I know. All right, y'all.
Look, gee, I wonder who he's going to pick.
Okay, so let's get into it. Packers-Niners. I don't want to beat any team more than any other team in the NFL more than the Niners because they have embarrassed us in the playoffs since Colin Kaepernick was having his run. So, what's wrong?
I'm just checking the time.
Oh, okay. We've dominated our division for so long. The Bears, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings. I don't care about beating them. We've always beat them. There's nothing to hold there. It's these teams that they have these fans that just talk crap and go in, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Niners. So I would love to get this win, and I could start with saying that I think our momentum's on our side. Like I said, or like you say, house money. The pressure isn't necessary on us, but just to keep playing hard and that having that hard-nosed football mentality. So go in. We're young guys. Like, everyone's betting against us. So go out there, play, have fun, but let's keep winning. And I think that our team is young, but it's one of those special feelings, man. I don't know if you can feel it, but me as a fan, I'm like,
you're a fan. This is what fans do.
Yeah, but it's more of just a different energy that's coming in, and I feel like Jordan Love, bro, can potentially turn around what has been the storyline of the playoffs in the Niners and the Packers, where they always have our number lately. I think we go in. I think we play good football. I think it's a back and forth game like it typically is in the playoffs. I just think we finish on top this time.
Going with the Packers.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
That's bold. That's bold. So I'm going to start this one by saying that, yes, you're right. Packers are playing with house money. They are a young team. There's a magic going on right now that teams just don't get, very similar to CJ Stroud. We may be watching one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL right now that in 2 years we're going to be like, yeah, that's freaking Jordan Love. Of course, that's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. But right now we just haven't seen it, so we don't even realize how good this guy really is.
Yeah.
He goes out and wins this week. We're going to be talking, and we're going to know a lot more than we did this week as of this recording.
Yeah.
2 things that kind of I'll agree with you. Rest versus rust is always a conversation that gets brought up. The 49ers had a bye, right? And a lot of people think that's a great thing. And I actually think for the 49ers it is. I think they have really veteran players. I think for the Trent Williams, for the Christian McCaffreys, who got a shitload of work this year. Absolutely insane. For the George Kittles, for the way that they play so physical. Their defense plays physical. It's the Bosa's. Those guys are young, but they don't need it quite as much. But I think in key places, I don't think he's going to be necessarily the greatest for Brock Purdy. I think he's one of these, when you're a young up-and-coming quarterback, you want to keep playing if you got that good rhythm going on. So I could see the Packers' path to winning is going to be very similar to what they did against the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed this, but what they did is they went out, they won the coin flip. This is when I knew, and I even texted my buddy, I said, Packers, I didn't text you, I texted Joel this. I said, the Packers are winning this. When they won the coin flip, and they said, we want the ball.
Give us the ball.
Give us the ball. Why? Because what ended up happening here, and this is a true story about Cowboys. They're a very different team playing from behind. So playing catch up is one thing. They're bullies. When they're up 20, they're like, oh, we'll drop another 20 on you.
Yeah.
Because we know you're a shitty team. You're not going to fight back. You're not punching back. But the Packers said, no, we're going to punch first. We're going to make you play from behind. Drove it down the field. Scored 7 points. I'm not joking, and Dak literally kind of like shit his pants.
Oh,
that's when the lights were like, okay, well, how are you going to respond? And it's like, it's not funny when he's not the bully anymore, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to toss it up, and you guys, no, you are playing from behind now. And I could see, and the 49ers similar. They're a different team playing from behind because they're really good at controlling the ball. They're really
tempo,
good. The line is dominant. Their line play on both sides is really good. They got the Trent Williams. They got Christian McCaffrey, control the ball. So if they're playing with a lead, very dangerous. If you can come out, do the same thing, kind of punch them in the mouth first, maybe a little bit of that rush shows up, I can see a path.
Yeah.
However, to wrap that all up, I think the rest does them and their veteran players more good than bad in this situation. I'm going to take the 49ers. But I don't think it's crazy to say, like, and here's the last point that I'll make. Packers have something that's very interesting. There's no receiver on your team that is an A receiver. You don't have a CD Lamb. You don't have a Debo. You don't have, but hear me out.
They're all A minuses, though.
They're all, like, I was going to say B pluses.
Yeah.
You have 4 B pluses. You've got Dontavian Wicks. You've got Reed. You've got Romeo Dobbs. You've got Christian Watson. You've got Luke Musgraves, who I'm not even mentioning.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. You guys got the other Kraft kid, another tight end. So you got weapons.
Oh yeah, I mean Aaron Jones is our only real veteran in terms of someone that's on the offense that feels like they're the dad of the offense right now.
And to that point, there's no team in the league that has even too good. They have, like, you might have a great You might have Sauce Gardner and another like good corner, but okay, they don't have a great corner that like a lockdown corner. And even if they did, you got 4 B guys.
Yeah.
You got 4. Okay, lock down him. This guy's not much of a fall off from this guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they have the advantage, where they could throw a little more because they have 4 B guys. The Cowboys
And they're
have
all
CeeDee
fast.
Lamb, who you could say is an A+. But then who's next?
Yeah.
Fucking Michael Gallup,
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks. Those are, you go from an A+ to like a C-.
Yeah. Yeah. They used
it's
to be
almost like-
A's, but it's the age, man, at that in football.
And it used to be, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I've ever seen a team have no A, but you got 4 B+. And that is a huge advantage because you don't have to lock in. Jordan Love said it himself. He said, I'm out there playing free. I'm making the right call, going to the right guy. I don't have to. These guys are all young. No one's going to come at me like an A.J. Brown and say, oh,
Yeah. Give me
why
the-
don't give me the damn rock? It's
Yeah.
like, no, we're going to run the play, and that's making them effective.
Yeah, yeah, and let's finish with some stats real quick. A lot of these receivers, and I would argue that they're all. I wouldn't even say A- or A+. I would say this A's. They're A's, right above B+.
Who?
Our receivers.
You're crazy.
A lot of them are rookies and never played. This is their first year on the bigs, and they're breaking records. They're being like the first of 2 or 3 players to ever do certain things when it comes to yards, numbers, catches, touchdowns in their first year. Jordan Love just set the NFL record for the highest QBR ever as a quarterback in the playoffs. And so, I mean, it's crazy. So, yeah, I'm excited, bro.
I'm going to take the 49ers. I think 9 points is too scary for me to give up, just because I do believe that the Packers will be able to score. I think ultimately at home, they're going to get in a rhythm. I don't think they're as scary. They won't get as scared or as threatened as 5 minutes as the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to take the 49ers, but I will take the Packers plus 9.5.
Okay, nice.
So moving on, next game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Detroit. This game is in Detroit. Funny video from this game. You see where the reporter lady asked the coach, he's like, "It is." Did you see this?
Yeah.
It is 0 degrees. How do you plan? What are your plans for playing in Detroit? And the guy's like, "You do know we're playing indoors, right?"
They're both indoors, Tampa Bay and Detroit. Horrible
Yeah.
look, especially for someone that has a career in sports as a whatever reporter, bro.
So Bucks at Detroit. Detroit favorite, kind of a big favorite. Detroit minus 6.5. Who are you taking there?
I'm gonna. I know we're on speed time now. I'm gonna go Bucks, bro. It's gonna be crazy, but I think
Another underdog. This parlay would pay off so fat.
I thought Detroit, beautiful game, get your playoff win. I just don't think they get further than week 2. It's not. I don't think it's their time yet, but I think Bucks are a more solid team. I think they have a Baker Mayfield is scary, bro, when he's hitting. Like, you just never know if he's going to be able to run on you or throw this run around, scramble for a while. And they have good receivers. So, I mean, it's tough. They're playing good football. It's fun, too. It's fun to see them play.
I'm going to take Detroit in this one, and simply because I feel like the energy that came, that town was starving for a playoff win, which is kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I'll explain why in a second. The energy, the team flat out, like player per player, they have dogs.
Yeah.
When you talk about the line, the Penei Sewells of the world, you've got, obviously Jared Goff is perfect for that team right now. Amon-Ra, the double-headed monster at running back. Sam Laporte is only getting healthier. They've got dogs. I'm going to take Detroit, and I'm actually going to take Detroit to cover because I think the Bucks not only are playing some of their best ball, but I think the Eagles are so bad that it made them look a little bit better than they might be.
And that's my point. And this is my last point. I don't think Goff is that guy. Like, I don't think he's the one that takes them there. I don't think he can handle the pressure, especially if the Bucks come out swinging, which I think they are, and they're gonna say like, "Yo, we're here to play," you know. Okay. So I'm going Bucks.
We're gonna spend the last 3 minutes talking on the biggest game of the weekend. We're going to Chiefs at the Bills. Bills coming in as a slight favorite. This is a heavyweight fight. You know, you're into boxing. This is Tyson Fury versus Wilder. Bills at this game is going to be in Buffalo. Go for it. Do you want me to go?
Do you know what the weather is?
It's going to be cold. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are, but it's
going
to be
two
playable.
Really good cold playing teams.
Exactly.
Games.
So I don't think.
Yeah,
that's
you go first, bro.
This is one of these games where
you might sway me.
where whatever the outcome is, Chiefs win or Bills win. Chiefs dominate, Bills dominate. Whatever happens, every fan is going to be like, well, duh, of course that's what happened. Because if the Chiefs win, you're going to be like, they own the Bills. This is just the Bills can't overcome the Chiefs. If the Bills win, it's going to be like they're playing their best ball at the best time of the year, and the Chiefs are a lot weaker. This is not the same Bills from 5 years ago. I'm sorry, from like 2 years ago, right? So, and you could look at it and point back to saying, this is the Bills' year. Everything's coming together. If they dominate, it's gonna be for that reason. But if the Chiefs win, you're gonna be like, yeah, of course. Patrick Mahomes is gonna put this team on his back. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. I don't love my pick, but I'm gonna go with the Bills because I don't believe that these Chiefs are the same Chiefs from a couple years ago. And 100%. I think the Bills are surging. And if any year that they're gonna do it, it's gonna be this year. Let Josh Allen run. Let him go crazy. Let him just do it. No holding back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I said this in the last podcast when I did my picks. I think Josh Allen shows he's elite during these playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to the Super Bowl. So, Josh Allen,
you got a minute.
I think he's gonna run the ball. He might run a touchdown in and throw a couple touchdowns. Like you said, Chiefs, actually, if you really look at their season, it wasn't all that great. They made it there, but if you really look at how they've been playing, if they're going to get discouraged if it comes into a dogfight and the Bills start pulling away, it's just going to be rough. I don't think it happens.
And it's
Mahomes.
Hilarious. No matter what happens, if the Chiefs come on here and then they dominate, we're going to be like, well, duh. And if the Bills come on and they dominate, we're going to be like, well, duh.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap it up for our second bonus episode. It's funny playing up against the clock on these.
Yeah, I know.
Tune in. Check it out before. This is going to be out before the picks. I love you. Say it back. Enjoy
Let's
the
go.
Weekend. Maybe we'll watch these together. Shout out Creative Crew for putting all this together. Brand new set. Getting used to it. This was fun. Eric, see if you can stay hot. 4 for 4, maybe.
Yeah.
Big underdog guy.
Love you. Say it back.
Shut the fuck up.
Love the Packers. Say it back.